Well, RAISY...
To be fair, RAISY did play against Faz last week at this stage and did very well. I believe it was very close, actually, 2-1.
Yeah, he managed to get some...
should have won, from what I remember.
He just had crazy combat skills as well as part of it. I know that Faz was giving him a lot of respect as a player, and it's someone who I expect to do very well now. But we're going to go straight to the champion picks, where we'll continue the player discussion in a moment. ANTOWKA going with an immediate clutch pick, and RAISY to deliberate and decide.
This map for me is the most interesting because I honestly do not know virtually anything about either one of these players. So going in, it's going to be a complete learning experience from us as well. Yeah.
RAISY, I've small familiarities with. We've seen him actively. I've played him a little bit. Definitely a great player. And considering the question marks above ANTOWKA's name, unless you know, there's a lot of very, very talented Russian Quake players, and I can't say enough about the sort of standard that they have in their part of the world. They are crazy good, but ANTOWKA is an unknown name for me.
For sure.
So I guess we're going to learn a bit going through that. He beat Draku coming into this round.
Yeah.
But that's, and he's a good Finnish player. But otherwise, yeah, question marks absolutely everywhere.
And there were some very unstandard picks by today's games. There was one Ranger, I think. The rest was his Sorlag. We saw a Scale Bearer, a Clutch, an Anarchy. So we've literally got a very different match to everything else we've seen today. Yeah, definitely. And to talk about RAISY, he did beat a few interesting players. He beat, I think it was Germany's Filion, who's a solid guy, Pobdoc as well he beat, and good old FNX. He also took down on his way through the bracket. Poor FNX.
Poor FNX indeed. But guys, we are starting this game now on Corrupted Keep between ANTOWKA and RAISY, and we are on ANTOWKA to begin with his clutch that's already bringing the pace. He clearly knows how to play this character. Some great movement skills already coming out, and that's always dangerous, but it's against Anarchy, and this is a very, very strange matchup. I quite like this matchup from an Anarchy's perspective. Saying that I don't fear clutches at all is probably a little bit naive, but I feel like it's not something that Anarchy can't deal with, just because he is able to escape and evade some of those shield charges. Exactly. That speed, oh my god. Probably the only champion in the game that can actually outrun a clutch. And I don't even know if it can half the time, but it has a very good chance to get away, particularly whizzing around those pillars, etc. So there's the shield coming out. He's going to try and close the gap, but you can see that Anarchy so quick getting around the corners. Shield's about to go down. Here comes the LG, and RAISY demolishing him, getting the gauntlet out of sort of I don't know, celebrations just then. But that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted to bait out the shield. Knew then that he hadn't done enough damage to carry on. He couldn't escape quick enough from Anarchy. Yeah, and just doubled back and hit 100% lightning gun on the tank, and it was game over really. But loving this from RAISY. It's a really great move. It's just mesmerizing, to be fair. But it's going to be ANTOWKA getting himself the LG. Little bit of damage from a distance done so far. Oh, finds a meaty rocket down at the bottom. But can he get over to the armor in time? Timing with that rocket. Yeah, that right there is something we haven't seen today. Is he didn't overcommit to that heavy armor. He could have rushed in, but instead just hit some damage from the long range. And being an Anarchy, you do need to be careful about those overcommitments, because as we mentioned before, you're extremely vulnerable to being just almost one-shotted by a good rocket. Well, he's hardly taken any damage so far. He's really had kind of free roam to position himself wherever he wants. There we go, LG coming out. Mega has already been taken, and RAISY is going to leave, giving himself that small extra speed boost with the injection. Yeah, and really good play. Didn't overcommit, gave himself an option to get out, did some okay damage, and he's playing very smart. Now it's about finding that angle on Ranger to actually deal some damage to make him fear himself. And I like that he's being attentive to the hourglasses so that he can try and get his injection up and ready as soon as he can. But he's kind of giving him space. He's happy to move away, and that extra damage that might mean, okay, I can move in. He's actually playing the Anarchy in a very different way to that we traditionally see, in that the CPM movement that Anarchy has is more just for repositioning and for getting out of bad situations. He's not using it to actually, not abusing it. That should be a kill.
It's really smart. He's making sure he's always in a safe position and then using the movement to get on his opponent.
Oh no!
Ouch.
There comes the bull rush. Now, that's one thing. It can be quite difficult to dodge against a bull rush, depending on the position. And ANTOWKA getting absolutely creamed there in that area by the Mega. That was pretty savage.
That was a good description.
Yes. RAISY, as you're saying about the Anarchy pick though, Anarchy is also a champion that can slow the game down as much as speed it up.
And that's what he is using
so
it
much.
for. Yeah, and that's exactly what RAISY is using it for. I think that is super effective.
I wonder if he's going to be able to get that same kind of effectiveness versus the clutches he did last time, because the timing of his attack and the way he managed the shield defense by ANTOWKA was impeccable.
Yeah, I think last round it was more ANTOWKA feeling him out, and I think it looks like he's giving him a lot more respect this time around, instead of just rushing straight in. So yeah, I'm expecting to see a slightly different clutch now.
RAISY's just waiting for information. He's got to be careful not to get stuff stuck in there.
I don't think ANTOWKA did anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did actually, and the shield wasn't used at all. He's going to move in. Can RAISY escape at all? He's just going ring around the RAISY.
Yep,
Something.
That's the best way to get away from a clutch.
Well, did the shield go up there? Because I didn't even see. RAISY was just running away the whole time.
Yes, it did.
Oh, that rocket doesn't do a whole lot. The Mega's out, but he's decided, you know what, I don't want to put myself in the line of sight or line of fire of rockets.
Yeah, again, he's playing it very smart, assessing the situation, and he knows the limits of this champion in that it is a very squishy champion, so try and just keep away and only take those safe fights.
Well, he's not managed to be successful on the offensive beyond forcing that shield used the last time, but he's staying out of fire.
And he's also abusing, yes, clutch is quick, but the kind of turnaround between where clutch can get to one section to another, he's using that to his advantage, so that's why he just stole away the Mega.
Oh, this is great chip damage as well. He's probably done over 100 damage purely with the nail gun and the machine gun. Absolutely unreturned.
And there again, just using the quick speed of Anarchy to reposition and take advantage of the slow turn of clutch.
And that's going to be another exchange on the two big items.
I think that RAISY is quite happy with that, just because of how weak the champion is.
We can see from the green and blue bar up below ANTOWKA's name, he has got so much stack to work with. He's just trying to work out how the hell do I close the gap.
Yeah, but then the question for RAISY is, I need to whittle this champion down before I engage it. I also need to get rid of its shield before I engage it.
I mean, it can be quite difficult when you haven't got access to that railgun. But he's managing to change positions quite well and get to the other side of the map. 2 seconds till armor, but he's not going to be able to go for it. He just runs out.
Also saving onto his ability to fight another day effectively.
Yeah, he wants to keep that as long as possible. But he's not found any resources at all. Nothing's been spawned for him, and the ones that have been up, he's not wanted to position himself there just due to respect to ANTOWKA.
But he doesn't mind. Like he could have gone for the health bubbles in that nail gun room, but that would have meant death because that's where RAISY was expecting. Sorry, that's where ANTOWKA was expecting him to go, and so he just waited and waited and waited till he knew 100% it was safe.
Not a bad amount of damage again with the nail gun, but still very much ANTOWKA who's dictating the levels of control.
Interesting air movement there off the jump pad.
He's definitely trying out things. You can't blame ANTOWKA for being a little bit experimental. Algae between the two players in the air. Just machine gun at the end, and that is going to be use of the injection.
But what ANTOWKA has realized, I believe, is that he can't use the shield offensively against RAISY. He can't rush in with the rocket and shield because Anarchy is just going to run away. So he needs to take these mid-range lightning gun fights that Anarchy won't win. That's why it's a little bit of a stalemate, but it's also very good play by ANTOWKA as well for not overcommitting, because that's what cost him his death in the first round.
The machine is learning. That's all I can think about.
He's also just ate 100 damage.
Oh, look at that. There's
Exactly, one half rocket and Anarchy is forced onto the backfill again.
yeah, and what items is he going to go for now? I would not be surprised if we're going to get ourselves into an overtime situation.
None, really. It's just very smart, keeping on the middle ground, the high ground, just to keep awareness of where Clutch is. They're both playing exceptionally well.
Uh-oh, and he might have just bit off more than he can chew. Look at that movement in the air. Or even the Anarchy cannot... He can't shoot through that dodge. Any kind of predictive shot he was trying to make just didn't work. Oh my god, that nail gun damage. All of a sudden, is that going to spin a curveball in this?
That was about 140 damage.
The shield coming out, the shield is on, 10 health left, and he's just going to kill himself at the end. That is 1 for 1. And ANTOWKA's new playstyle with Clutch is definitely working for him.
It took him effectively 1 round to say, okay, this is what he's going to do, this is how I need to react to it. And eventually he found him in the position where he wanted to get him in the end, which was blocked into a corner with rockets.
Yeah.
But he's not willing to overcommit to make that happen.
He has to be so patient, though, to make that work for him. The amount of LG damage he's taken, he's trying to rush forward. He might make it work. The injection comes out at the correct moment.
He missed the critical rocket.
He hit something. It did only 25 damage, and RAISY had about 12 health before he used his injection. But, yeah.
There was one more rocket as he was using injection, which could
Oh,
have
dear.
killed him.
Oh, okay.
Lovely. And that was the first time RAISY really overcommitted. He didn't have a stack, he didn't need to be there, and yeah, ANTOWKA made him pay.
Shows that maybe ANTOWKA actually has more patience than RAISY in that case. And RAISY not willing to wait it out that long to get something correct going. Okay, we've got Solar coming in, and the amount of damage from the acid spit, the machine gun as well, and LG.
Sorlag,
huge amounts.
I haven't really thought about it, but Sorlag is one of the champions that can go toe-to-toe with Clutch.
Whoa.
Because he has almost equal stack, and the spit goes through the shield.
Yeah, that is underrated actually. I don't see it very often. It's all like picked versus Clutch. It's quite an unusual matchup.
And he's relatively quick himself. So I mean, it's not a counter, but I think it's actually a viable choice.
Well, it's just whether you can stomach those shield rushes. But as you said, acid spit going through shield, you'd expect everything to be able to land then.
Exactly. So now we've got a Ranger versus a Ranger, RAISY on his last character.
So, and that could give an advantage for ANTOWKA. We'll put him on map point. ANTOWKA not quite able to find the way in though to these fights. Spot some algae, little bit of damage.
RAISY's far too early. Should be using really.
ANTOWKA just not really hitting a lot. Can he get down to that mega health? A lot of LG damage all of a sudden. RAISY was just, I mean, really stubborn about moving in just then.
It does seem to me that RAISY is nowhere near as comfortable on the other champions as he is as Anarchy.
Yeah, that is quite a concern for him. I think ANTOWKA just wants to finish this one. Whoa, die roll up. That might have done a bit of damage actually when it exploded. He's going to die quite possibly. 16 health.
They're both extremely... I don't think he knows how low RAISY was actually.
Oh, the mega. The timing on that attack. 12 health left. Can he escape from this?
Oh, man.
The thing is, RAISY's not doing huge amounts better. He's just picked up a bit of armor. He only had 100 health before that.
He knows where ANTOWKA is, so it's just a matter of time.
Oh, that other health bubble spawning at the right moment for him. Oh, dear. Can he reposition with Dire Orb anywhere? There it is. There's a couple of health bubbles up here. Back to the 100 HP. He's stuck on the side. He was going to be pushed off the map otherwise. And that is going to be 2 for 2. Scale Bearer for ANTOWKA.
Here's the bull rush.
Oh, he actually was going offensive with that. I thought he was going to reposition for the armor, but he decided to go all the way in.
Oh, no.
Up and down the bounce pad.
That is a really annoying bounce pad when that happens, because you just have that little clip edge and it can sometimes do that to you.
Well, bounce pad better is all I can say.
Really
I mean,
ballsy by ANTOWKA.
Nah, he's hanging around way too long in that one, and no, I don't know how much there was that he could do, because obviously he just used his bull rush. He'd taken a scenic route of the bounce pad and stuck at the LG area. You can't really do anything.
He shouldn't have gone into that room in the first place. He just needed to try and get back onto the rocket side.
Well, we are on RAISY's Anarchy to begin this round. He has got a chance to pick up the first map. What's that? Rockets. Oh my god, the damage just keeps on coming in. I think RAISY's just assuming the pressure's going to let go at some point. Definitely watch out for those rockets. Both items up in a second. This movement I'm finding very unpredictable from ANTOWKA. Armor's been taken. Is the Mega going to be up?
It was the right choice.
Whoa.
That's what I mean. Anarchy can do things like that. He can get in and out that no other champion can do, and it really breaks the traditional conception.
He might go down. He might go down at the moment. ANTOWKA's been very good at making sure those items are his. I wonder if he's going to be able to do another rotation. Shield is up. A lot of damage being taken, and he is using the rockets a little bit. In between rocket shots fired is when ANTOWKA's taking damage. Armor is around. Where is RAISY off to?
I don't think RAISY knows he hasn't taken it, and now he knows.
No, I think that was taken by ANTOWKA somehow.
Yeah.
How the hell did he do that? Mega does eventually go to RAISY, but still, massive rocket, and another one. 6 health left after RAISY uses the injection.
This RAISY is living on the edge at the moment.
Yeah, he's got so little for him. 10 seconds until the big armor's up. He's too scared to go over into the nail gun room to find if unnecessary.
I think he's just enjoying the air control.
It's difficult to stop doing that, but really in a competitive game, you've got to sit back and be like, and to stop appreciating your movement for a second and just get the job done, for Christ's sake. Uh-oh. Bad move for ANTOWKA, although the little sidestep at the top of the bounce pad does really put off the aim.
This is nice. He knows there's no shield, yeah.
This is surely going to be a frag. Oh, the rockets he's got to be so careful for. This is 1 HP, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, health bubbles were taken, but with LG, easy to hit like that, you're not going to get far.
And that's the last thing, obviously, ANTOWKA wants, is to use that shield defensively. Because once it's down, he is so vulnerable to the Anarchy.
RAISY's just happy to wait at the moment.
Yeah, nothing's really up, so just doing damage is nice.
I think they want to split their separate ways just for the items. RAISY might even... I don't think at this point he'd be thinking, ooh, 2 minutes left, I can play defensively.
No, but at the same time he's thinking, I don't need to pick up the armor, so I'm not going to overcommit.
You also don't want to walk into a situation with Anarchy where you're stuck in a hallway, you're going up against a bull rush, and you can't move.
And
it's a real fear.
As we see, he is playing obviously defensively, and he's taking positions where he knows there's an exit.
Actually, this could be troubling for RAISY.
It always looks pretty precarious going through that teleporter, but as an Anarchy, when you can just fly through the side wall, it's actually pretty safe.
Now is RAISY taking the armor for the moment. Sorry, ANTOWKA taking the armor. And RAISY was basically just looking in the central part of the map to see, okay, which item does ANTOWKA want to take? I know he was going to take one of them, just I don't know which one, and I don't want to be too close to him. No, he didn't. What? That's not what you had in your mind, I don't think, RAISY.
No, and again, virtually everybody we've seen today just standing on items and mistiming has ended up paying because of it. Which does show you the...
Oh,
Jesus.
2 health left, got 30 seconds. There's definitely a chance still for ANTOWKA to make it back.
Yep, and he has to go super aggressive, but I don't expect RAISY to stick around anywhere.
Oh, he's got the chance. Find that last bit of damage. That LG is kind of inadvertently making RAISY move a little bit faster. There it is, but all the damage from the acid spit.
Is he gonna die?
He might. Oh no, he's got the mega, and I think he would have left with 7.
Just back to square one. Sudden death, Ranger on Ranger. To be fair, that was a nice read by ANTOWKA to go back the other way to where RAISY was going.
ANTOWKA messing up his dire orb, but that's not going to matter too much.
I think it would have been a bait anyway.
That was a fake rocket jump to himself. He didn't even know it. A little bit ambitious with the LG beam length.
Yep, but there's nothing up against. There's no real reason why anyone needs to take a fight. It's just keeping each other at bay, trying to do some damage.
And of course it is ANTOWKA who needs to get this round win if he wants to continue having a chance of winning the first map. Otherwise, RAISY will make himself one map away from qualifying
and
to the Quake World Championships regionals.
Is mistimed as well.
I think they're just laying dire orbs on each other. He's pound the Mega though anyway. And he can soon start setting up for this armor if he wants to play the sort of comfortable standard way.
That was very fortunate. It was only a 4 damage rocket. It was almost perfect.
There we go. Got to be careful. That LG wasn't so good. Actually, RAISY hit so much more than him at the beginning. 5 seconds until Mega Health.
Yeah, and that's exactly why standing on the middle ground is...
Oh, what an attack, actually. But that rocket return fire could have changed things up once again. And RAISY, he might even secure himself that the big armor.
Yeah, RAISY's just taking super good defensive positions and dealing massive amount of damage, but it's a little bit careless of ANTOWKA just to come strafing through the rooms, because RAISY is consistently taking these positions and doing good with them.
Definitely a stalemate on this one. Neither player really... a surprise.
Yeah, that was the little bit of brilliance that won in the map. Overall, I think ANTOWKA had a good game, but he did struggle with the Anarchy quite a lot.
Yeah. We saw an interesting adaptation from him, but it's almost like then RAISY readapted.
Yeah.
And
it was very back and forth, particularly on a mental level. And I think RAISY's defensive game just played out in the end. ANTOWKA did run into him a little bit carelessly a couple of times, and RAISY punished him whenever he made a mistake, so it was good play. Yeah,
definitely. And considering the performance we saw from RAISY last week, going up against ANTOWKA, I'd grant him the favourite in this matchup, although that's where we have the question marks above ANTOWKA. Do we really know the true capabilities of this guy? We don't. So we would expect maybe to see a bit more moving to the next map where he's going to get his pick.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to think where that will be if he is, say, a clutch main, if you want to call somebody a one-pick champion. But I don't know. From my thought process, it might be a Ruins, but we'll see.
It's definitely possible. Whatever map really suits Clutch more, if he is going to... The way he moves, it does make me feel that it's something that we're going to see again.
Yeah.
He seemed very comfortable. Normally you go up a bounce pad and you're like, and if someone's there with a railgun or an LG, you're like, oh god, this is going to be painful. But he seemed to be almost willing to go up bounce pads because of the way he's able to dodge in the air afterwards and the angles that he was choosing to take. So it was, I mean, yeah, some interesting moves from ANTOWKA. We're into the picks though. RAISY do go first, and it is Blood Covenant. I personally would smell a clutch, but let's find out. Nothing yet.
We will see. He first picked it on Ruins.
Was that a slash?
I don't think Clutch is that good on Blood Covenant. No, is that a slash?
It is a slash. I like his little the cosmetic day.
I thought it was a Nyx. Okay, we have a first slash.
That's the first slash of the day, I think. But I do like slash. I remember commentating the North American qualifiers last weekend, and we saw Mav LP with his slash. That looked really, really cool. He did make the movement look incredibly difficult, maybe probably harder than it actually is.
I thought you were going to say like spectacular.
You know, it did look spectacular, but the way he's moving his mouse, I was like, and then you compare it with Tox and Cyber's, like, that's different. But is there an extra effect to it? You don't. Okay. I don't really know. But I love watching Slash move, no matter what the technique is, essentially. So we'll see.
It's not usual that you play against a Slash. So again, you really have to think carefully about how you're going to approach the duel, because as a player, unless you're used to it, it can put you off guard. And it might be that he goes quite defensive until he figures out how that Slash is being played. But
now, one thing about Slash, now, I don't actually know how many people know exactly how his movement works, but with Slash, the higher you drop down from a level, the further you can actually slide on the floor. And if you dropped from the top of pillars to the bottom, you can slide for a very, very long time. We are on RAISY at the moment. It would be great to get the chance to see Slash on stream at some point, so maybe that's going to be possible. But let's check him out. RAISY, a map ahead, and the pressure on ANTOWKA.
Yeah, and not doing anything out of the ordinary, just trying to pick up the relevant weapons.
Here we go.
Really wants the railgun. That's why he's being super cautious about getting it. Apparently this guy is a good Slash player.
Well, the movement, he's making it look really nice, actually. But he's going to be careful, because it's going to be followed up. Can't get the air rocket at all. He's under a bit of pressure. The rockets from RAISY make our Slash viewing experience short-lived.
For now. But yeah, I mean, it looks spectacular for the 3 seconds we saw it.
But the problem with Slash is because you're on the floor the whole time, sure, you've got a chance to dodge around and you're not in the air going up against LG, but in the path of rockets, you can be quite sort of frugal, sort of vulnerable. RAISY is going up versus the clutch, which is something that from time to time had a lot of trouble with. But with that rail in play...
Yeah, it's definitely a different beast on a map with rail, and a map as broad as Blood Covenant, really.
Oh, didn't quite get the jump going that he wanted then. But going to escape. He might try to choose a different angle to get himself over to that armor. You won't expect this angle from ANTOWKA. A little bit forthcoming. Armor is up already. ANTOWKA making sure he's got the rail. Ooh. Almost lands the shot, but has a massive stack to play with. RAISY, I mean, he's got the maximum stack without taking big armor or mega health.
Yeah, as a clutch
so weak
in this position, there's no need to really put yourself in positions where you're going to take lots of damage for items. You can use them as bait, and I think that's something that's slightly overlooked by the tankier champions, is that it's so ingrained you need items when it's not necessarily the case.
There we go. Getting one rail at least. Did have one over at the Mega beforehand. But with the armor up, I mean, RAISY's not even focusing on that side of the map, which worries me, because you need to be keeping an eye on those timings.
Yep, and you need to be chipping away at a clutch. As we've said time and time again, your life becomes so difficult if you let a clutch have free reign of the item.
And he's not doing enough chip damage. He's right now in a enclosed space with clutch, and he's just going to get blown up. That was the shield used for ANTOWKA, but there's going to be so many hourglasses around here. Should have no problem bringing himself back up.
Yeah, that is
ability on.
The biggest benefit of having clutch on this map is the amount of hourglasses to restock that ability for you. And
the Mega is up. Can ANTOWKA get himself over there? He did hear where RAISY was, so he's going to assume that he can get that item. There it is, very comfortably. I think he oversteps the mark sometimes with his movement, but you know what? It doesn't even matter.
He just glides so quickly around the map.
And I like the way he's able to maintain a good sort of crosshair position generally when he's doing that.
Yeah, that's something that's actually really overlooked. Nice.
Ooh.
Doesn't really dent clutch, but it's still every little counts.
There's another. But again, we've got that armor taken. He's going to need to keep on firing those rails. Mega up. RAISY hasn't been on a big item in quite a while.
That doesn't seem to be his playstyle, and that's fine. In Quake Champions, the items are still key, but they're not as important in my mind as they were in Quake Live.
Yeah, you can play around them a bit and bait your opponent to the items, but when you're playing a small champion, maybe not so much effect on Ranger. No, someone like Anarchy does need the items in order to attack.
100%, just as it works the other way, and that clutch doesn't necessarily need them.
Mega up in a moment. RAISY trying to make his way towards it. Oh, almost got stuck on that bounce pad. That rocket almost finding the feet of RAISY.
There's a lot of close calls at the minute, and RAISY's living on the edge. So I expect that ANTOWKA, when he gets that bigger armor stack, he will begin pushing him more, particularly because the shield's up.
One rail for RAISY. Shield up on this occasion to defend himself from some of the rail blows. He's going to find him. Shield's still up for a moment. He's not done bad damage and even finds a frag right at the end. And 3 seconds left. That's going to be the first round to ANTOWKA.
Yeah, really, really dangerous play by RAISY. The lightning gun in this game is obviously powerful, but it's not as devastating as it was. And going up against a almost fully stacked clutch, it takes so long to get him down that if he's using rockets in those close quarters, it's almost impossible for you to win.
On the plus side for us guys, we get more slash action at the beginning.
Wow, I need to learn how to do this.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I was watching Slash plays. I just want to sit on a map on my own and do that. But this is where you've got to escape, and you've got a limited amount of escapability. And that's what happens. All of a sudden, RAISY just presses the on button, and he seems to be evading the damage from Slash really well. That LG forcing out. Look at the speed there. All of a sudden, he pulls it into next gear.
And ANTOWKA is actually okay with that. It keeps Anarchy very weak. He probably should have gone for the rail instead of just shooting rockets aimlessly, but wow, he got it anyway.
Rail exchanges here are decent, but RAISY can't do a massive amount. ANTOWKA almost finding that angle on him and having to go for those smaller items. We've got armor up. Where is ANTOWKA going to chase him? Because right now this could result in RAISY getting himself on the armor.
A flying tank towards you. Yeah, you're more than happy with trades as a clutch on an Anarchy, because once you hit one rail, they are almost nullified.
Problem is, and look at the amount of armor ANTOWKA has. Small amount of him is definitely going to want to keep that stack going. Great rocket.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's almost undoubtedly got his ability up, which means he can hold his ground and Anarchy can't do anything.
Oh, we've got another rail from him. Injection, forced, completely railable.
Yeah.
I think that rail tried to hit him just then, actually.
What ANTOWKA's doing that's pretty smart is taking these unusual positions in the Anarchy's kind of rotational path that aren't on the mainstream. He thinks that he's going to be on the bridge, for instance, but he's not. He's taking up these side positions on the middle level where Anarchy's going to be zipping around.
But those last two rails landed from RAISY actually put him in a favorable spot for the moment. It forced ANTOWKA to go to some of the quieter parts of the map.
Yeah, and we're back to the way in which it was on the kind of second round of Blood Covenant, where RAISY's playing ultra defensive and just using it to get away from the clutch.
Well, RAISY's going to be happy with this stalemate, as long as he's got that champion advantage. He's just going to be thinking, come at me, bro. It is your responsibility to do that. Armor's up, and he doesn't need to go for it. Unnecessary risk to take. Get the hell out of here. Oh, the amount of damage done by RAISY so far has been very good, but RAISY looking for a way out at the moment.
That's so frustrating as a player. When you think you've got the
oh, this could be it. What? A couple of rails from ANTOWKA. I was on the same wavelength as you for a moment. It looks as if it's another good escape from RAISY.
Yeah.
Some quality movement we're getting from ANTOWKA, and that's reflected on more than one champion for sure.
That is the exact point, really, that he moves so fluidly around the map, it catches you completely off guard.
And can they find him and try and actually gain the advantage and not just have a tied champion game? He's looking to win this map and keep that pressure on. Shields up. Doesn't want to push in just yet. If he can land that rail, then he probably would go in for it.
Yeah, I agree. But just missing them, it's not the end of the world. They're not make or break rails.
Oh, he missed the mega.
He did miss the mega, which is quite painful.
Does give a free item to RAISY.
Probably wouldn't have got there in time, and RAISY thinks it's bait.
I think that ANTOWKA just moved out of range of the sound cue and didn't hear that armor getting picked up. Is that dire orb going to be used to get up? Nope. Just checking his peripherals. Oh, did he see him for just a moment there?
I don't think so. I think he heard him.
Very, very quiet from RAISY.
Yeah, he's in a painful situation again because Clutch has had free reign, but they have found each other on the bridge, and RAISY's pretty trapped, but he's got the dire orb. Now ANTOWKA just letting him free. Look
Whoa.
at that.
Can't find anything from it though.
10 seconds.
I think RAISY's just going to get to buy it to eat or something like that. He's just made himself completely invisible. Did you hear him for a moment? I'm not sure. Armor up. I mean, step 1, you've got the stack, but step 2...
Finding your opponent.
Oh, amazing rocket. And it has been ANTOWKA who's been making a lot more noise around the map than RAISY. So maybe that's where that extra intelligence is coming from.
He could have rocket jumped up, but there we see the patience in that he wants. Love it.
But is speed directly proportionate to success? I'm not sure just yet.
That is the question, Einstein.
Oh, he just gets distracted a little bit by that dire orb, and is not able to allow him to position the way he wants to. It puts him in a very vulnerable scenario with no shield up and the threat of someone just completely destroying you with LG. That's pretty harsh. He wants to hit a rail. Oh, the rail gets hit the other way round.
And this does put RAISY on more of the front foot now. He's managed to whittle down that stack.
But is ANTOWKA going to have to do that all over again? Oh, another rail. He's got to be careful with the shield. Has taken armor himself. This might be an aggressive move. There we go. Shield's used.
Yeah, RAISY has to put in right now.
But where's he gone? What the hell? ANTOWKA's being allowed to escape with murder. Has the big armor up. We've got the Mega spawning soon. He just used the dire orb for just a second. What the hell? ANTOWKA playing carefully with the angles. Doesn't want to give the upper half of his body as a rail angle. And just breaks out. Whoa, what a shot over there. 26 health, but he can't escape the last rail. There's another one.
Yeah, I mean, RAISY played extremely well. And ANTOWKA just couldn't close the gap. Anytime he was thinking about it, RAISY hit a crucial rail, and that just ANTOWKA's mind said, all right, I have to back off.
We are going to, we're not going versus Slash first, we're actually going versus Clutch immediately. ANTOWKA expecting to have more success on this side.
Yeah, the Slash has been underwhelming, to say the least. So
problem is, if you got a Slash right at the end as well, if you die and you're like, oh god, my whole tournament life hinges on this champion.
My first pick.
He's absolutely magical to watch playing, but unfortunately he just doesn't fetch the results that players want as well. You've not got a full level of control with that champion, particularly when you're being bounced with rockets and your movement just stops.
It's true. I don't want to call it a poor man's Anarchy, but
but you just did.
I just did.
We see some players picking him, like Tox, Cypher, Backstein picked him as well, Mav LP. I mean, there's a handful of people. Hell regards him as a underrepresented champion.
I do think the champion has potential, but as you say, if you do get caught, things can get out of control. It's really nice to watch RAISY play Anarchy because he knows the limits of the hero so well. He waits at the last minute and knows the exact movement patterns to get out of trouble. It's obviously very frustrating as a player to play against, but it's also good to watch.
I mean, just the more I'm watching him play, the more I'm just wanting to play him as well.
No.
Oh, the attack over here of the rockets. There's just barely a defense. The shield comes up, but it's just a bit too late. And it is Slash coming up next. And RAISY won't be upset about that. He's had some good performances versus him.
Yeah, that was perfect by RAISY, pushing in at exactly the right time.
I love that jump. And he does it so smoothly. Whoa, did not expect that so closely. Didn't crouch down at the bottom, so he's not able to move away.
And once again, Slash underperforms. No, I mean...
Sounds like you're smiling even more every time you say that.
I mean, this is what we were talking about earlier, that when you're playing against Anarchy, you have to keep in the moment because it breaks the traditional rules of duel. Any other champion would not have really been on top of you so quickly there, and you have to keep thinking, respecting what you're playing against.
I think RAISY's looking to finish this one. Going up with the LG, following up. There we go. This could be a second round. Now it's 2-1 for RAISY. He's 1 round away from qualifying.
Yeah, and the region around the corner, I think he does have the potential to give players upsets if he wins this.
We'll see in a few moments. RAISY, round 4, Anarchy. Slash is coming up #1 again instead of the clutch. It's almost like just get it out of the way. Slash has been absolutely ineffective on a multitude of levels, and I love that we're getting a chance now to see him again. We might not see him much more this whole day. Oh, come on, show us something. Let's see some Slash frags. The thing is, Slash going against Anarchy, this could prove to be troublesome.
Oh, dear.
Oh, he can't do anything. He's probably going to die again. He uses his plasma trail, but the rockets annihilate him. I was hoping I kind of reverse jinxed him or something, but no, he just got slaughtered.
A little bit of frustration there. I mean, once you've missed one rail in that situation, you need to get up. Okay.
Right, that shotgun work was absolutely fine. I think RAISY got a bit overexcited at the same time. He shouldn't have been in close quarter combat by the shotgun spawn to begin with.
Yeah, and that is a real big lifeline for ANTOWKA.
Well, wasn't the shield up anyway at the beginning? He did some alright damage, but...
Just get out of there, man.
That's exactly what you should train yourself not to do.
Yeah. And now we have a 250 health and armor clutch running around the map. But it is Nyx, so as we know, Nyx does have a get-out clause at the end of the day. And I believe he's been taking Ranger second, so he has mixed it up, and I think he just wants to play defensive now.
Wonder if we can see any kind of implosions, as this is one of the larger characters to go against, but obviously no easy task to do. Both items are up. Where has that champion gone? Does he want to follow up completely? ANTOWKA,
Preemptive there.
he can't do a whole lot, and by default it's kind of made himself run for the mega anyway.
Needs to, yeah, but there's so many of those time bubbles, it's not the end of the world. He knows now, but he's already taken a rail, so that's quite painful.
Is he going to have a guess? Ooh, he won't need to. Rail comes out straight away. Another one. Is he going to be aggressive, RAISY? I don't know if he can be. He just simply doesn't have the legs on him to compete against ANTOWKA.
Yeah, I agree.
These rails just don't stop ending, and ANTOWKA is giving angle after angle after angle. And I mean, rightfully so, he doesn't want to pop his shield every single time he offers a rail.
No, but RAISY does need to be a little bit more proactive when he has hit 2 or 3 rails, just to get on top of the clutch a little bit more, make him, force him to pop that shield at least.
Oh, missing that one. Oh, he is actually going to use the aggressive.
And now they trade positions.
I was going to say, that's one of the few things ANTOWKA could have done where fireworks would not have happened.
That was a nice little move. Just backing down to get the green, small green, so he gets more benefit from that heavy.
Solid rail. RAISY's pretty weak at the moment. Now to chase nearby the pillars. Oh, the Ghost Walk used just in time. Where's he gone? He's found him. Here's the runaway. Oh, the rocket was amazing. Thought that was going to be a direct armor up and a nice little jump as well by RAISY. He's going to be able to escape as well up to the time bubbles.
The rocket jump up now and force.
Can you get to? Oh, the rocket finds him in the end. It's like a homing missile from the skies. And ANTOWKA, he's got a champion advantage. 50 seconds to go. That's just a full rush down. I think he was trying to kill him with the Dire Orb. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it, though. Damage is too great, and RAISY, he had the pummel out at the end. And ANTOWKA takes the 4th round.
Yeah, that was rather interesting.
Now, one thing I like that RAISY tried is the Dire Orb on the clutch, but that wasn't the right moment for it. You can't do it vertically.
I mean, no, but it was a last chance saloon. It was, I'm going in for the kill, so I have to use this offensively. If I use it defensively, the clutch will just chase me down.
That's true. And there was time involved as well. Oh, I think he's going to make it out of there.
Unscathed. That is pretty fortunate. If he took a rail, it would have been devastating. But now he can just get on the map and actually pick up these items and weapons without fear.
Oh, is he going to be able to kill it? Oh, and he can't. He kills himself in the end. It was as if he was being bounced on his hand. There's a Goomba Stomp from the Anarchy.
Yeah, that's quite frustrating. And that's the last we're going to see of the Slash today, and it hasn't done anything, unfortunately.
Well, unless ANTOWKA wins this map, and we see him on the next one.
For some reason, I thought this was the 3rd map.
But you know, who knows what would happen? They've been quite eclectic with their champion selection as well, so...
Yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
Massive jump over. No commitment, though, from ANTOWKA.
And RAISY's more than happy just to play these rail duels. He's been generally winning, particularly against a clutch.
Just missing out on these ones. Does he want to go over and try and find something on the armor? Oh, a pretty enormous... And the rail as well. ANTOWKA delivering some very important shots.
That was a crazy rail. And massively important because Anarchy is now gone.
This is a huge sigh of relief for him. But...
in all fairness, though, that was the right play by RAISY, 100%. It's just you cannot account for people hitting a direct rocket and a crazy rail, so...
Let's see that armor up. ANTOWKA looking more for the information at the moment, not trying to standardize his play too much on the items. Yeah,
I think the one thing I would say is ANTOWKA has obviously cycled the items extremely well, but as he doesn't necessarily need them, and he needs to kind of get out on the map and pressure RAISY.
That LG. Shield is available if he wants it. Yeah, he finally decides to use it, but he's only got 100 health left, and RAISY explodes.
He tried to Dire Orb as well and messed it up completely.
It's on Nyx with 2.5 minutes to go. Otherwise, RAISY is going to be losing out on the second map and will have a tiebreaker to try and qualify. Did he realize? I don't know if he realized that Nyx was just there. Maybe he would have been a little bit more aggressive had he known.
He's got the shield up, so isn't there a reason why he can't go aggressive on the Nyx?
I guess a good rocket.
Yeah, he has to now. He's got like 10 health.
Where's the Ghost Walk? It's not there. This is surely going to be a frag. I think ANTOWKA, he might have it. Ghost Walk's been used, and the shield no longer giving him the information that he wants. RAISY is so damn fortunate to have gotten out of there. ANTOWKA's got everything.
A little bit of panic mode setting in when he realized that was nearly game, but good plays.
Off the bounce pad. Not enough LG damage done, though. Rails. And ANTOWKA just being careful at the moment. Sure, the shield is up again, but RAISY's managed to find a stuck once more.
Still pretty healthy on the Nyx, though. And we'll have Ghost Walk.
Oof. Getting the direct. There's the Ghost Walk. Both abilities used at the same time.
Surprised that he didn't want to pressure the Nyx. Just playing safe, which is respectable, though.
And that was railable as well for RAISY. He had less than 25 health, and no matter how much armor you've got, you're going to die then.
Whenever you hit a full direct on a Nyx, it's almost a signal for go, 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 because they've just got nothing left.
just can't lock him down at all. We've got 50 seconds.
Yeah, saying that there's 50 seconds left, 2 champion advantage.
1 champion.
Oh, 1 champion. I thought I had all 3 for some reason. Yeah, so the ball is definitely in RAISY's court.
His slash has had that effect on people, though. I say effect. It's had no effect on anybody. Apart from being very entertaining to watch move.
Okay.
So there's just a
very
walked away.
Strange interaction here.
All right, 15 seconds to go. RAISY needs to pick up the pace a little bit, and ANTOWKA just moving to the other side of the map. Is there going to be an attack?
5 seconds,
Look at the clock.
Run away with the shield.
I don't know if he can close the gap. No, 3 seconds. There's the shield up. Nothing they can do anymore, and that is going to be the map picked up for ANTOWKA. Despite, I like that all of his characters are
he's
matching
definitely
colours.
He's done that deliberately.
He's got his uniform set up. That is a nice slash suit, to be fair.
I haven't got really any skins to show off.
Have you not?
I'm like level 10 or 8.
You've got more. Oh, you've made a new one to get a.
My main's like level 10. My ult's like level 4.
This is poor showing. It's all about the uniforms. But we've got another map to go to between ANTOWKA and RAISY, and it will be on RAISY to select that. It will be either Ruins of Sarnath or the Blood Run. But ANTOWKA giving us a good fight on this map.
What would you predict as an Anarchy player? Ruins or Blood Run?
Ruins. Yeah, Ruins, definitely.
Yeah, I was thinking Ruins.
I think it's better, and I think if anything, Ruins has gradually just pure subconsciously become probably one of my better maps, and I think that anyone else who plays Anarchy is probably leading their way on Blood Covenant and Ruins. I just find that those most suitable. I think Vu kind of argued that Corrupted Keep is somewhere that's very good for Anarchy as well,
we've seen
but that
Anarchy
suits a playstyle more about get up close and personal.
You say
than
that.
The other way.
You say that, but we've seen 2 very strong Anarchies today on Blood Covenant play 2 very different playstyles.
Yeah, that's true.
We got RAISY with the super defensive, and then we had the first one of the day, which was obviously very, very aggressive. So, I mean, yeah, it is very. I think it's a strong map for Anarchy, and I think it obviously suits Vu. But I agree with you. I would say Ruins is probably the best Anarchy map I find. Now
it's possible. Oh, it's actually going to go for a Blood Run in the end.
Blow us out the water.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. It can work here, but if you're scared that you're going up against a Galena or something like that, it can really shut off a lot of possibilities on the map.
We haven't seen a Galena today.
No, not at all. But we are going to get the clutch from ANTOWKA once again. I think I saw a sneaky Sorlag queue. So Sorlag versus clutch from RAISY.
From RAISY, yeah, you're right.
So that could bring up something interesting. We had the Sorlag up earlier on as well, of course. But again, I predict RAISY to take this map. He's a better known player, which seems like an awful way to say a reason for him winning. But he's not that much better known. It's just because we've been alerted to him from coming from other games, having a good FPS background, and already seems to be quite competitively aware anyway.
I'm gonna go with ANTOWKA.
Oh really? Is that just for drama, for purposes just to conflict?
Partly, but the way in which he played Blood Covenant, I think, would suit the Blood Run more.
If he didn't play Slash, it probably would have been a much more convincing win.
Exactly.
Because Slash did nothing.
It was the bait pick.
Yeah, we saw 5 slashes,
you feel confident.
And none of them got a kill or survived longer than about 30 seconds. It was pretty unusual.
He wants it to be buffed, you know. Just deliberately through. But here we go.
Please.
Nice rail.
RAISY right off the start.
Yeah, as a player, getting hit with that starting rail is really annoying because it just means makes it almost impossible to properly compete for the next round of items.
He's already hiding. He wants that rocket.
But he knows that it's being defended by the clutch. We didn't even need the X-ray for that.
Just here's a thundering around the map.
Exactly.
And the clutch has got so much. Whoa, okay. Look at that vertical speed a little bit too much. Love the little move there with the nail gun. Behaving like the plasma, giving us a reminiscent of previous Blood Run movement as well.
I do like RAISY's patience. It is quite easy, I think, to get caught up in the fast-paced action of the Anarchy and think that's what it has to offer. But again, we're seeing that slower game, which suits his playstyle with a very rail-heavy game. Because it is so difficult to hit rails when you're flying around the map at 350 miles an hour.
Oh, he's just right. This is exactly what he was trying to avoid, is getting it into a hallway with Clutch.
Yeah, that's not a dance you want to go to.
Fortunately for ANTOWKA, though, he wasn't able to react quick enough to fully profit from that occasion. You can just hear that clackety-clack around the map.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you Clutch is insanely easy to predict just because you can hear him.
Oh, he's going to get out in time. Just about made it. I think the rail possibly still reloading. Does find one rocket, and he's going to say, you know what, that's it. I don't want any more than that. I don't need it. This could be troublesome. Wow. The LG damage. The shield does eventually come out with 7 health left.
The only benefit of, well, one of the biggest benefits of being Clutch in those lightning gun fights is half of that did 5 damage instead of 7. So he did keep himself slightly more healthy than he would have done elsewise.
Yeah, reduced some otherwise potentially deadly damage. I think he had less than 50 health by the end of it anyway. Oh, here comes the LG. Shield shouldn't be up yet, and that is going to be a pretty straightforward kill in the end. It was just about locating him and locking him down. Ow, the pain with the 7s coming out, and he's looking for one more. Does find initial splash, and that's a good, actually, I like the way that ANTOWKA played that slowly. He was expecting that.
Until he then strafes quite easily across like a sitting duck.
What? Okay. He almost made that work somehow, but unfortunately for him, he only had the rocket launcher. Bull rush. Oh, he finds 100 damage just as he finishes that bull rush.
That's painful.
And ANTOWKA's going to have to settle down a little bit around the map and figure out exactly how he's going to recoup.
Yeah, Scalebearer is one of those champions where you have to be very good with your positioning, because if you get caught off guard, then you're almost certainly dead. So it's about maintaining very, very good positioning and using the bull rush wisely.
At this stage, RAISY just wants to hide a bit. He noticed he was railable for a moment and didn't want to gamble his whole life just then. Getting the first round and getting a step closer to qualifying. I mean, he was already so close before on the last map, so keeping that mental composition, or composure, sorry, is essential.
It's smart by RAISY. He doesn't need to push or commit over heavily now. He knows the Scalebearer has a large stack advantage, and with his 2 champion advantage, he doesn't need to do anything radical. Yeah,
he's just got the pegs in now as well, and he's looking to put up the tarpauling, but does escape eventually as soon as he's got some bit of information.
Yeah, and he's really just playing the keep away game. This is old school blood run right here.
And it's fair play from ANTOWKA, actually. That recovery from Scalebearer that he had to make in order to remain in the game, he got the health and he got the armor. The problem he faces now is that the clock is his biggest enemy.
Yes, he's got 35 seconds to kill 2 champions.
Or the rail, if there was a rail, then that would have been it. That would have been the beginning, at least. But we need to see something brave from ANTOWKA. He's investing some of his stack to reposition himself, but he simply can't find him. Just heard the bull rush, and RAISY is going to escape.
But it is almost impossible to chase an Anarchy as a Scalebearer. You have to somehow trap him, but when he's playing so effectively, it's nigh on impossible.
Yeah, you need a little bit more time as well. I mean, he had some earlier, of course, but obviously not able to make it come to any fruition. So
prepare to fight.
That is going to be 1 round in the bag for him.
The only thing is ANTOWKA can now sit back and think, okay, what went wrong and how do I change? That's the one good benefit of these rounds for losing anyway.
Oh, that's Ranger. He manages to get both items. Aerial, what? Aerial?
You are
gauntlet.
Crazy, my friend.
If he could have followed that up with a second aerial gauntlet, I would have been on the floor.
That was incredible.
But unfortunately, it also led to his death. Oh, all of a sudden, he does manage to hit a rail, does get the 225 health bubbles. ANTOWKA is going to escape for now and wants more items. He has used his Dire Orb, so see how many of these armors he can get.
Use the machine gun!
No.
No!
Simply no.
It's always...
Oh, no!
No!
But fortunately for him, RAISY is blissfully unaware of his problems.
Yeah, now RAISY decided to slow it down after just going balls to the wall off that spawn.
Alright, this is now a nice stack for ANTOWKA.
Nice.
Rail to start. Maybe need to switch it up a bit now, but keeping this higher position. Nice move there from RAISY, blocking that additional damage.
Is it a lizard?
Lizard, reptile, dinosaur thing?
I'll take that.
Female lizard, reptile, dinosaur thing there.
Reptosaur.
Whoa, the dodge of the rocket and then following up with the direct. Oh my god, what a combo there by ANTOWKA. And RAISY is none the wiser. He has no idea what happened, just that he's now playing a different champion.
It was all very fast and then there was darkness. Sometimes you just have to take those risks and just hope that your opponent doesn't hit a full direct rocket to your face.
Oh, he actually went up there. He used the Dire Orb to reposition, but maybe not for the best. ANTOWKA, though, very passively, doesn't want to commit to a fight that he's not 100% sure that he can win.
Exactly. The only saving grace for RAISY was that ANTOWKA switched to the rail instead of having the rocket.
Yeah, rockets, it would have been a done game. He actually goes in on the Mega. It was taken, and that is going to be a rail for RAISY. Somehow survives. Looking off the spawn, it is clutch. Even if you are hitting that combo, there's still going to be more health and more armor that you've got to get rid of.
Yeah, really nice timing. Again,
that was brave.
Has to take some risks being at such a deficit, even though there is 2 minutes. If there is an opportunity, you just sometimes got to.
Can he get close? Well, to be honest, actually, he doesn't need... Oh, he does need to get close. My mistake. I'm misreading the champions like a buffoon, but 1.5 minutes in order to do that. This is it, holding on to that position. He does use the Dire Orb, but I don't like the way he used that. That was a bit too hit and hope. Hits one rocket, but is he going to be chased down? And that's what he fears.
What? Whoa!
What?
I didn't even know that was an angle.
That rail hit?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
I wondered what Clutch was doing. Just
okay, 15 health left. The splash is so damn close.
Yeah, both of these players, obviously being such an iconic map, you can see their experience shining through, showing me that they're obviously probably coming from the old Quake era. At least, I know RAISY is, but maybe even ANTOWKA too.
And there's now 40 seconds for RAISY to bridge the gap. He's missing everything, though, that he needs to hit. One rail, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Lands on cue.
I mean, there wasn't really any other choice there. He had to commit for whatever fight he could find.
I mean, I'm not sure if even hindsight could give us better solutions to what was going on.
Maybe earlier in the round.
But that would be it.
By that point, it was kind of, I'm going in, boys. Okay, we switched up. We got Sorlag.
All right, Sorlag going up versus the Ranger. Can he hit another rail? That would secure him the frag, but it's going to be RAISY that lands that. That's
actually an interesting swap because we've seen fights being breaking out.
That was the most spectacularly poor jump I've ever seen in my life. Is that even how it works?
Apparently it does if he's doing it. I don't actually know though. But yeah, I was saying we've seen a lot of kind of messy fights at the start of this map, and so switching to a Sorlag allows you to brawl a lot better. And it worked because you got the kill straight off the bat. So yeah, it's a super smart pick.
And RAISY eventually going to be able to stack himself up with some health. Some armor, sorry. There was the bull rush, which he was slightly concerned about, and that timing, he just misses him crossing.
Yeah, but now it's down to ANTOWKA just to make sure he's well positioned. because Sorlag is someone that will punish you if you're not.
Had the Mega. Every rail miss just bruising the ego a little bit.
It's not the end of the world. RAISY, once he's got two more greens, the small ones anyway, he's in great fighting shape. Even though ANTOWKA's got a bigger stack advantage, it's not the end of the world because you have a very, very big one yourself. And one rail effectively nullifies it.
It's interesting because RAISY's probably scared of the bull rush.
Yes.
And then ANTOWKA's probably scared of the acid spit.
I think now they're in a position where items can be bait because it's at the stage where they effectively only give you 50 health or armor. If you take a rail, you're at a 30 net deficit. So there's no need to take them unless you're in a 100% safe position to do so.
Yeah.
That's something, again, is just one of those habits from Quake, the old school duels where items were so important that you had to take them. It's about adjusting on the fly to whatever your situation is.
Oh, wow, okay, it does remove him from the Mega area, but the problem is how much damage is he going to take here? The bull rush comes in, but he's already lost all his health anyway.
So again, that was a fight that RAISY didn't really have to take. It was such a dangerous one.
Oh, this is troublesome though for Scalebearer. Rocket's coming in. Oh, that rocket just went below his feet. Just pops in and out for some extra machine gun damage, but that's not enough to get the kill. 10 seconds still to that Mega.
He's trapped though.
Wow, unbelievable. He's got the bull rush if he wants it, and he will eventually use it and get some health.
I thought he was going to go down to the Mega with the bull rush.
I would have loved that.
That would have been incredible.
What was interesting though about the fight at Mega between Sorlag and Scalebearer is how it looked like Sorlag had zoned him out first. Okay, this all of a sudden just transformed. Anarchy waltzed in and death occurred. To one of the players at least.
The clutch is the final hero, champion, sorry.
It did take a pretty nasty amount of LG damage, but
he's a clutch, he's got a lot.
Yeah, he's got plenty to spare. The thing is, you don't want to start being charitable. You want to keep it all for yourself. And RAISY, again, when you've got the advantage, it does take a bit of pressure off. But your first thought isn't, hey, I'm going to make it to the end without getting a kill or being killed. It's how the hell am I going to survive against him? 2 strong rails. And that did make ANTOWKA temporarily railable. Very, very close. That could have been a round-winning rail.
But at the same time, there's 1 minute left to put RAISY ahead in rounds for this quarterfinal.
Oh, that was a nice move, actually. The shield and the jump timing, unbelievable. But he cannot keep up with him, and he's going to double back. What am I watching?
That was interesting.
So ANTOWKA did try his damnedest there to make something happen, and his movement is very unpredictable. And I did think for a moment, actually, he could get these rockets to land on RAISY effectively, but his movement was too wild that even he wasn't able to control his aim through it.
He's very calm when those kind of situations happen and does bust out some moves, but sometimes it's a bit bizarre, it doesn't work.
Well, the LG here by Sorlag. Oh, is he going to be able to get the frag? He's trying to go for it, but he's railable.
Again, starting with the Sorlag for those opening round brawls.
Are you a fan of that?
For this round, for this matchup, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it has worked actually. We've gradually been seeing changes throughout the series, and this is one of the very interesting ones.
Again, is the most important thing for me is that RAISY's then thinking about what's going on and what went wrong in previous rounds and really adapting based on what he has available. Where a lot of people might just stick to whatever they picked, straight up.
Yeah, people like me. He's trying to get a bit of zoning out with the acid. Does do a little bit of damage. And chases the dire orb just in case. He'll still manage to secure the Mega and as well the armor. So Sorlag fully loaded at the moment with items. The LG is about to run out, but he finds the rail as he goes back up the bounce pad. Is this the start of the end for ANTOWKA?
Yeah, it's a tough situation. He's taking clutch second this time, so mixing it up himself.
So yeah, 2 large champions remain for him to use.
Taking the Ranger at the start just for that maneuverability to try and get both major items, even though that can be very risky. But either way, back onto the clutch and scale.
A bit of a health and armor investment for RAISY in order to get both the items quick enough, but worth it. And I feel bad for ANTOWKA at the moment. I get the feeling we're going to see a pretty massive acid spit if that shield is deployed to close combat.
We haven't seen that shield been used to great effectiveness virtually all series, and that's really credit to RAISY and the way in which he's kept away from the clutch.
He's not allowed those attacks to happen too often.
Exactly.
Oh, just suddenly blocking him. There is the acid coming out, but is there any much damage that can be done? LG flying through the air, and they're going to kill each other at the end of it. I think RAISY even got the acid frag, but ANTOWKA only with Scale Bearer left.
And that shows the power of the acid, that the acid effectively killed ANTOWKA.
Alright, it was good. Oh, we are going to get the rush. He's going to go all the way up, but he misses it, and a solid shot there by RAISY. This is going to be very hard work, and ANTOWKA is going to be feeling the pressure at the moment. He's still got to win a round before he can even compete for qualification point. One rail. That could be enough to throw him out. Oh, but the rail comes out from RAISY. That is the match-winning shot. And he is going to be qualified now to the regional finals at the beginning of August in order to play for that potential $1 million.
Yeah.
One step closer.
And now, I mean, I see why Faz was giving such praise to RAISY. Because all series, we've seen him adapt his play, adapt his picks, and adapt his playstyle. And he switches it between super offensive and super defensive and plays both very well.
Yeah. So and I think I noted just at the end, they had a lot more items picked up overall for RAISY as well. Yeah. So his general control of the map seemed to be just on form there.
It was... ANTOWKA wasn't a pushover. He was extremely good, particularly on his clutch. So RAISY had to pull out all the stops, and we saw some great maps.
I think we weren't really sure what to expect from ANTOWKA as well, but we saw some great moves from him. I hope this is, maybe I'll be educated later online in terms of what more he's capable of doing, but this is a great start to the history that is being made about this player.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he comes under a different alias or if he genuinely is just a newer player, but he definitely put up a good fight, and I would expect to see him in this stage again next week if he does participate.
Well, ANTOWKA playing from Russia, that is one of the communities where I'm expecting over the coming months to see a lot more really good players rising into the top ranks. Okay.
And particularly his clutch, that was definitely for me his most effective champion. But that's not saying he had any other weak ones. It was just that
Slash.
Okay. that was.
Am I allowed to mention that, or does that not count?
So poor, I forgot that this existed.
And we just saw his Slash get taken down there. It was, for the seconds we got to see it, his movement was brilliant to watch. But we're not really seeing Slash fit very often into the meta of duel, at least not with very many players able to control him the right way.
If you can play that champion effectively, it is obviously a really great asset you can pull out. But as we saw, and obviously ANTOWKA is confident that if it doesn't go right, it goes very wrong.
Yeah, completely.
I think the average lifetime of that champion was about 15 seconds. So, I mean, that's how you got to take it, really.
Well, I think it shows that the different styles that you've got to have to, the different the play styles you have to use for these champions. Oh my god, that aerial, but the most useless but beautiful thing that we saw.
It was magical.
Apart from the Slash, sorry. I think maybe it's just a question of people haven't found what style they need to use. Is it a slow style? Do you need to play really aggressive? I mean, well, how are you going to play on the fringes of the map?
For me, the majority of people really need to respect that every different champion you pick and different champion your opponent picks has a dynamic that has to be respected, and you do need to adapt throughout the game, and you can't approach it in the same way in which you did Quake Live.